What's up, everybody? Ben Rasa, Matt Gajewski here for Awesemo, and it is time to talk all things college basketball national championship. We have a fantastic game. We're going to give us a first look at what should be just an absolute potential classic. Two blue blood programs, fantastic Final Four games, and now we get to our final game of the year, Matt. This is going to be Showdown. We're going to talk about that. Just quick thoughts, though. We've got Kansas. We've got North Carolina. I'm sure you saw the games yesterday. What did you think?
They were great games overall. They play a little differently than I thought they would, particularly the first game. Kansas kind of trapped Nova into their pace, which was a game I did not think they wanted to play. I was a little surprised they didn't use more ball screens and more pick and roll action to try to exploit Big Dave McCormick for Kansas. That was an edge I thought Villanova had and could potentially keep them closer in the game. They did not do that. And we saw Big Dave have maybe the best game of his career. So that was a little surprising. In the Duke-UNC game, it was a high-paced game. Again, went over the total. And there was a little bit of bad shooting from Duke, I think. Just bad, I guess you could call it luck. The shot quality of that game actually had Duke as the victor. But overall, both teams taking a lot of quality shots, a lot of three-pointers, and a high-scoring affair. The biggest concern there is what happens with Armando Bacot, who sprained his ankle late in the game, was able to return. But we all know once swelling sets in a couple days later, how's that going to look?
No doubt. He had a 21 board. The guy is unbelievable. They're going to need him, no doubt about it. I was a little surprised that Duke, we talked about the pace, particularly the second game. I thought Duke had an opportunity to trap UNC if they wanted to slow it, and they didn't really want to do that. I'm not going to say it's the sole reason they lost, but I didn't think that was a great move. Kansas just shot. Abaji was so good so early. I think it kind of knocked Nova out of what they wanted to do, and the threes, it was just very hard to combat. But now we get this final matchup. So let's talk a little bit about it. I do want to say right off the top, if you're hopping in for the first time, you haven't seen our college basketball videos, you're just in time, because PrizePicks is once again sponsoring us. They've been with us the whole year. If you haven't been over there, daily prop-based contest, use the promo code Awesemo when you sign up for that $100 first match deposit bonus. You're going to be projecting over-under on points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers. And the great thing about it is all the tools that Matt and the team have here at Awesemo, you will get for 1 month free. You'll get that Awesemo Plus Platinum when you sign up using the link in the description of this video and make a deposit at PrizePicks. You're going to have a full video on this channel about PrizePicks coming up. A lot to do there, but let's get into this game a little. And I want to ask you, even before we look at this game where Kansas is a 4.5-point favorite, this is Showdown now. What are your general thoughts on how that changes? I know we're building a different lineup. Are you a fan of college basketball Showdown? What are the general tips for the people out there?
Yeah, for Showdown, just a different format. And a lot of you probably are coming from like NFL, NBA. There's a lot of similarities there. The main thing you want to consider is duplication. You don't want lineups that are duplicated with a large percentage of the field, because if you do win in that situation, you're not actually being paid off for having the right lineup. So you want to take some stands, maybe get a little contrarian and play an under-projected, under-owned player for the chance at a solo win, which will actually pay you off in that event.
Absolutely. We talk about that all the time in the NFL. You're gonna be very comfortable leaving salary. One more general question, and again, this is a first look. We have a full live before lock tomorrow. We are going to be breaking down every player in fill, building lineups. You can come right before the game tips and check us out. Do you tend to say, you know what, I want one of the top end guys as captain? Or do you say, you know what, it really depends, and I'm okay maybe punting captain, even though that can lead to a lot of dupes?
Usually don't want to punt captain. In college basketball, generally, we see the studs underpriced compared to their ceiling. So historically, throughout the year, stars and scrubs approaches have been very profitable, and they're not played enough. In the context of this slate, you have two teams that run fairly condensed rotations. That's more so the case on the North Carolina side. So you can pay down a little bit and still get a player that is extremely involved. I think playing players at the top of pricing like Bacot have paths to succeeding, but you can also go out and play maybe the fourth most expensive North Carolina player who also gets 38 minutes, who also has really good rates across the board as well.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're going to dive into pricing a little bit here. Like, Caleb Love, to me, has just been perpetually underpriced the entire tournament. It's been crazy, and you're going to have opportunities there. So we have to see what's up with Bacot. Obviously, I mean, he's playing. Let's be serious. It's just, will there be any limitations? He's the most expensive guy. Then you've got Abaji, Braun, Wilson. I mean, Kansas is the one team. They've got bodies off the bench, so they're more of a deeper team. Has that kind of impact? Because a guy like Lightfoot's got in there, but you mentioned Big Dave. What a game he's coming off of, and he is pretty appealing in terms of price tag.
He's just very volatile. I mean, he's a guy that's been exploited. He hasn't, prior to the most recent game where, Big Dave played like a ceiling in minutes, he played 29. He wasn't even close to that in the 3 prior games. I believe he was at 25 or under. Again, I haven't done data scraping or projections for this. It's truly a first look, so numbers aren't in front of me. But if memory serves me correct, this is a guy that's been playing limited minutes, and he is a liability in certain defensive matchups. Teams that can pick and roll him, try to bring him out to the perimeter. It's not where he excels. And I thought Nova was going to try to do that more. They did not. I do not think that is going to be the case with North Carolina. Hubert Davis, being the intelligent coach he is, with the athletic bigs and athletic guards, long guards, I do think that is something they try to do more. So Big Dave has a ceiling. We saw it in their last game. I just don't think we see it frequently, and I'm not sure we see it here.
Yeah, he played 29 minutes in that game, and that was the most. He hadn't played more than 25 at all. And even against Miami, where he was dominant, he only played 19 minutes in that game. So there is a lot in flux there. Then you've got guys like Jalen Wilson, and the one other guy I want to get to here, and again, I know I just said this, but if you're looking for the crazy guys, you want Puff Johnson content live before lock tomorrow, we've got you covered. But I want to ask you about Remy Martin, because he is someone all tournament. It's kind of been an interesting guy. He's been revving up. He played, again, pedestrian minutes, nothing crazy. Chipped in nicely, but we really haven't seen him quote unquote unleashed, and maybe that's just not the role he's going to play on a team that is pretty deep. He provides obviously a great rebounding rate for a guard. He does a little of everything. He is someone I think we're going to need to keep an eye on. He's sub 10K for a captain, $6,600 price tag. Is that a name that you could possibly be drawn to tomorrow?
I like Remy Martin as a player, especially on offense. He's played really well in the tournament, and I think that has allowed him to come in a little over-owned, and we've been able to get some leverage off him. I don't really think we're ever going to see the Remy unleashed again this year, especially now when they're talking about, matchups against long athletic guards for UNC. DeJuan Harris is a much better defender, and it appears he's just earned the trust of self a little more than Remy has. I mean, Remy's still coming off the bench. He's still not exceeding 25 minutes. We haven't seen that in multiple games now, and you have DeJuan Harris playing 26 and 30 minutes in their last 2 games. So I think Remy is actually a bit overpriced when you can just pay a little bit more and get players like Caleb Love. And I also think he's still going to be owned, which, in these situations, I might take a stab on a guy like Remy if I think he's going to be significantly under-owned compared to some of the other players in this range. But I'm not sure we actually see that because of how well he's played in certain games. And I mean, this Kansas team hasn't really had the most difficult road to get here. You talk about Texas Southern, we know they're matching up against a 16 seed. Nothing to see there. But Creighton was down a bunch of players. Providence is not a big team. Miami is not a big team. Villanova is not a big team, and Villanova was down their second best player. So their whole road here, they've been playing shorthanded small teams. They're facing the exact opposite in North Carolina. So Remy, I think, could struggle in this game if North Carolina plays their advantages.
That is something I think we're going to key in on stylistically. This is different. Now, I will say, to North Carolina's credit, I thought that about them when they faced Duke. They had a different road in terms of the front courts that they had seen, and they answered the call. Baycott in particular was just outstanding. But I do think Kansas will be tested in some other ways. Our final thoughts, I just want to ask you as a first look. Let's look at the game itself. When you saw the spread, Kansas is like a 4.5-point favorite. When you saw the total, it's hanging around 153. To me, it seemed about right. That's kind of where I thought it would be. Haven't bet it yet. Do you just have an initial thought on what you saw from the betting market?
Yeah, I don't think you can bet the game till you get Baycott news. And again, I think he's going to play. No idea where the spread's going to move. I think you could wait and maybe get a better number on UNC, and that's where I would back. I would just take the points there if I was forced to bet it. The total seems about right to me as well. Both these teams will play with pace, so I think you could maybe look to an over here, but I haven't bet either side.
I haven't either. It seems like it's going to be a very entertaining game for the normal people who love points. I prefer like Houston, Villanova. Give me that like 97-point total. But this could be in the 80s. I think both teams will be very happy to play up pace. That's going to lead us to some very interesting lineup construction on the DFS side, and certainly in the betting markets. Some plays will be had in our premium Discord. You can check us out there. But all right, I think we've set the table. Once again, tomorrow night, live before lock, you will have a prize pick show out, and then on the Odd Chopper channel, some betting content. Any final words before we bounce on out of here?
Yeah, I will have the in-depth content coming up soon.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be a great game. I think just for DFS purposes, you need to monitor the status of Armando Bacot. Brady Manick, RJ Davis, and Caleb Love are somewhat interchangeable in the captain to me. So I like paying down for Love. With that, you're probably going to get more ownership. But once projections come out, we'll have a little better idea who actually is projecting well enough in the captain, who's going under own, all the little nuances to Showdown.
Cannot wait. It's going to be fascinating builds for me, for Matt, for everyone here at Awesemo. We will see you guys tomorrow night. Again, hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss live before lock. And we will talk to you guys soon, breaking down this game in full. Good luck. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.